All right, friends, it's Timon, and I'm back with a new video. I'm gonna react to this comment in the comment section by this guy called Harry554. I did a video on Jeremy Ethier and Jeff Nippert, the Greg Doucette video. He spent 40,000 to prove Jeff Nippert wrong. Anyway, so he writes in the comment section here. He says, I have a question, T-Man. Bear with me. How can you display your strength when working solely eccentric? You want to know how you display your strength? Eccentrically, when you build sarcomeres in parallel in series, we call it hypertrophy. You hypertrophy more of these sarcomeres in parallel and in series. That's how you display your strength. For example, will your bench press go up in weight doing only eccentric chest exercises? Well, let's see. If you increase the contractile proteins in your muscle, will your bench press go up? I think so, right? Isn't that the idea? Right? It usually goes up, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Now, can your bench press go up without contractile proteins by trying to just be adapted, like adapt to your exercises by increasing the motor units and androgen receptors for maximal force production? Well, yeah, it can do that. It can go up to a degree. It can only go up to a degree, so that's why people take steroids now. So they inject steroids. The steroid binds to the receptor because it's suppressing the catabolic hormone, so it's not competing with the receptor, giving you maximal force production to move heavier weight. Does that mean that you are physically stronger because you haven't built any contractile proteins? No, you are not physically stronger, and it's not a carryover to other sports. Get it? To other strength sports. Strength is relative. What do you consider strength? Okay, let's say you're good at this bench pressing and all this stuff. Are you strong enough to do calisthenics? No, you're not strong enough to do calisthenics because calisthenics there's a lot of damage and stretching going on in the fiber eccentrically. It's based on more contractile proteins. You'll see that they look very muscular and built. They look very dense, calisthenic people, because they're doing a lot of stretching exercises. There's predominantly more there than what you're getting in bodybuilding because you're adapted. You're pulling from motor units, maybe even mostly sarcoplasmic, because you're eating an artificial diet called carbohydrates. So you're increasing the non-contractile proteins. And then you misconstrued that for being size, muscle, because you want the size to go with the strength. Get it? You want to look domineering in the physical world. So your muscles are fake. You're not really strong. You have a force production, but you're not physically strong. So people can take you out. It's just stupid to think that. You're crazy if you think you're physically strong if all you have are motor unit strength. You didn't build any physical strength. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, it's not a carryover. Your chest exercises are not a carryover to arm wrestling. Get it, dude? That's based on physical strength, man to man, like body to body, whatever. I'm asking because the butt cheek squeeze train to recruit motor units for the bench press, but eccentric exercises don't recruit the motor units. Eccentric exercises recruit motor units. What are you talking about? Dude, you can't have concentric without any eccentric. All eccentric has concentric, and all concentric has eccentric, some eccentric. Now, not all concentric has a lot of eccentric, and not all concentric has a lot of eccentric. Vice versa, get it? You understand me? There's full range of motion, partial range of motion, blah, 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 dude. Get it, man? Jesus Christ. All right. So, would a person who is relatively weak but trains eccentric, what do you mean relatively weak? There's no weak person. I don't know any young people that are weak on this planet. Your gravity makes you strong. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Relatively weak. There's no fucking such thing. So, but okay, so relatively weak but trains for eccentric bench press. Okay. They're not relatively weak. You're talking about somebody that wants to train for something, to get good at doing something. You want to get good at damaging muscle fibers so you could build contractile proteins, then why don't you fucking focus on doing that? If you focus on building contractile proteins, if you get good at doing it, then you'll notice you'll get big and strong physically. Now, if you just are adapted coming in every day, not focused on trying to build contractile proteins, but you're trying to get good at fucking recruiting motor units to lift weight, well, then there you go. Then that's what you get. All right. Bench press, butt cheek squeezing, look artificially stronger, but having higher bench presses. What do you mean looking artificially stronger? How does a bench press make you look artificially strong? I don't get that. Why do people say that this guy in the street looks strong, but it doesn't reflect in his bench press? That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. You get what I'm talking about? Bigger people are stronger than smaller people. Anything bigger on this planet is stronger because it goes with gravity. Anyways, bench press, then a similarly sized eccentric exerciser. Eccentric exerciser, dude. Everybody is fucking eccentric exercising. You're just not focused on damaging. There's a difference. Exercise-induced muscle damage training is your training to damage your muscle fibers. Are you training them to damage? Or are you training to recruit motor units so that you look cool in the gym, but it doesn't carry over to other sports? Get it, dude? When you build contractile proteins, these type 2 muscle fibers, these sarcomeres in fibers type 2, well, guess what? It's a carryover to every sport. Hello. Yeah. It's associated with strength, power, speed, and performance. This motor unit stuff, not necessarily. There's something there, but not a lot. That's not physical strength. There's some, but not a lot. Or whatever. Anyways. Yeah, so because the eccentric exerciser has not trained that one motion, I don't know what you're talking about. None of this makes sense to me, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I also am trying to find one of your videos explaining how long distance cardio exercising is in fact bad. I told you that, bro. It's in science, man. Science tells you cardio is bad for your heart. It's kind of obvious. Fact bad for cardiovascular health. How could something that is destructive be good for cardiovascular health? That doesn't make any sense, man. Food is good for your cardio, is good for your cardiac fucking cardiovascular health. Food. If you eat the wrong food, it's bad for your cardiovascular health. Yeah. I am trying to explain to these people to just do sprints for cardio. Well, yeah, I don't do cardio. If I did sprints, it was because I did sprinting for a reason. I didn't do it for any so-called cardio. But I am aware that it can damage my heart. See what I mean? You're causing damages to your heart. Your heart's not regenerative, eh? So if you get a heart attack, it'll just fill the cracks up with these so-called, I think they're called myocytes. I don't know, dude. Man, they have different names for all these. I can't remember every fucking name. I have to look them up, bro. You know that? So I don't know. It's called myocytes or some shit. They're not really progenitor cells. Your heart is just gonna patch up there. It's not really gonna go through a repair or a remodeling type of thing where you can't see any of the scar tissue. You'll have scar tissue. Muscles go through repair and remodeling, but that scar tissue goes away. It molds into itself. You couldn't distinguish anymore that these fibers went through a damaging phase. Anyways, yeah, okay, so doing sprints. They just say most of the studies show cardio training is good for your heart, but athletes train cardio. What studies say that training is good for the heart? What studies? I don't know any studies that say that, but whatever. Haven't seen anything, man. I don't know. Again, as a person in nature, you're not going to do a lot of running. You're going to hunt,
but you definitely are not going to do a lot of running. You don't want to run long distances. That's bad for you too. It's a lot of stress. Um, you don't want to damage your organs or shake up your fucking joints or your spine or anything by running, pounding on pavement. Uh, and yeah, I don't know, dude. And eating peasant slave food diet. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say there, dude. It's just like anything that any endeavor you take on takes practice. To be good at skateboarding, do you need to be strong too? So if a person can't skateboard, are they weak? Yeah, you can consider them weak, right? If they can't rock climb, right, are they weak? Not necessarily. See, none of these things they're weak. They just haven't practiced at doing them. Your body has motor units for a reason. You are going to the gym because I don't know why you're going to the gym to lift a heavy weight. I never went to gyms because I want to recruit motor units, man, for the rest of my life and be a gym lifting slave. No, dude. I went there in the I had this idea that I wanted to create muscle, but I didn't know it was post-mitotic. But I did know about damaging muscle going through a remodeling because I heard about when bones break, they go through a remodeling. So I figured, okay, so if muscles break, they go through remodeling. But then I couldn't figure out why they weren't breaking anymore. They broke in the beginning, but they stopped breaking. And that's where science tells you unaccustomed, unfamiliar, untrained subjects become what? Doing eccentric exercise, get stiff and sore the next day due to what? Muscle damage. Now, when you come in and you're adapted now and you're moving these weights like motor unit recruitment, are you getting that damage anymore? See, that's the question. So it's a training to get that damage. But when you're in a sport and competing, you don't want to get damaged. That's the point, because you'll lose in the sport if you get damaged because it's associated with bad things. Get it? Getting muscle damage. It's associated with bad things. You'll get weak. You'll lose force production, a bunch of stuff. So why the fuck would you want to get damaged? It doesn't make sense. See, here's the thing. You want to recruit motor units to look cool lifting a heavy weight, right? Okay? So you're not going to look cool doing trying to damage muscle fiber training. It look cool doing that because it does the opposite. You're trying to build your natural strength by building physical strength, by building up more of these contractile proteins. That takes a lot of work. You have to be in positive nitrogen balance. That takes a lot of work. A lot of people can't do that. And they can't bring back this damage because they're too stupid to figure out how to bring it back. See what I mean? And the thing with muscle damage training, it can only be done in full body workouts. It cannot be done separately because of the repeated bout effect phenomena. So if you're trying to build contractile proteins, these sarcomeres in parallel in series, the best workout is full body. Even the old school bodybuilders knew that it was full body that got them there. That's why when you look at these natural guys before the steroids, they did full body like Steve Reeves and all them. They did full body workouts because they were able to bring back some of this micro damage. Now, if you just do like splits, it's just not going to work because the repeated bout effect phenomena. The moment you do, like, let's say you do your back and you get this damage, but then you come in, then you want to do the next day, do your chest, your arms, your shoulders. Well, guess what's going to happen? It's going to protect from any more damage. So the other parts are not going to get damaged anymore. Get it? And now your back has to go through a repair and a remodeling still through the entire week because you're going to get DOMs. But anyways, it's not going to work out like that for people. That's why the old school bodybuilders, a lot of them figured it out. They do low level damage though. Their damage is very low level. They would do it like twice a week. They would do full body workouts twice a week. I can only do it once a week because I get massive damage. I don't know how much damage they got in their workouts. And were they in positive nitrogen balance the whole time? I can't tell you that. I don't know what they were doing. They look like they have good physiques. It appears that way. It looks pretty good. I can grow massively more by working out once a week and getting massive damage and then being in positive nitrogen balance because I don't want to waste my time. Why should I have to keep coming back, getting damaged, and then eating, coming back too early to keep working my body? That's ridiculous. Why not just do it once on the day and let it repair and remodel bigger and stronger the rest of the week instead of coming in twice a week, like low level damage, being positive nitrogen balance, healing fast within 3-4 days, and then coming back to the end of the week and then doing it again and so forth and so on. That's just too much work. It's like a salesperson not making any sales, get it? Because it's just wasting his time. Anyways, you get the point. I'll see you in the next video. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next one. It just takes a little bit of brains to figure out this stuff. Doesn't take you know what I mean? Just a little bit of brains. You don't need a lot of brains. See you in the next one. Ciao, friend. Hope that helped. All right.